Hello everyone! Today I'm going to be setting up the aircraft port that's going to allow us to fast travel to the sky base wherever we are in the world, as long as we build it, of course. In order to do that, we're going to need some reinforced plates, which are going to cost titanium. We haven't found that yet, so let's see. Let's detect that, and that is east. For convenience sake, I'm going to create a couple of these charging platforms, and then I guess let's just head east. Well, never mind. We're not gonna go east first. We're gonna have to go get some repair stuff. I think we need to set up a second defense system. Well, honestly, we probably need to set up more later down the line. Seems like the gold area has also been hit quite severely. Right, I did just remember that we had to increase the altitude of the metal storm. My big guess is that it is gonna be up here. The titanium. We take a little sneak peek? I don't think so, right? Yeah, no, the storm is too low. That's not good. Alright, well, time to head back, I guess. That does show me as well that we need some zip lines. You can see something blue there already, so I'm guessing that blue stuff is titanium. So I don't think it's typically blue, right? I mean, I know there is blue titanium, but I thought the typical one was supposed to be more gray. Well, I mean, technically the copper is supposed to be blue here as well, because it should be oxidizing. Although, that depends, I suppose, if there's oxygen. Although we are creating a ton of trees, so I guess oxygen is only a recent thing on the planet. Alright, with that plan halted, what we need is a ton of aluminum frames. Huh. Well, I guess the other storages already had that. Alright, great. And that is just because this bloody gas pod thing is so expensive every time we gotta build it. But there we go. Right, we also needed the other weather station, I forgot. Well, it doesn't seem to be the first thing I forget this episode. Something tells me it ain't gonna be the last. Alright, before we go, I do want to increase our movement speed a bit. We have just about enough supercharged gems for that. And we need Neodymium next, which I think is one of the last ores we can get. I also created a network tower, that way we can go out a bit farther. What do you mean network not in range? You're still connecting to something, my dude. Unless it means like a new network type. I don't know. And then I want to put this as close to the titanium as possible, which is right over here. And that did not work for some reason. Probably because of that network thing that said it wasn't in range of something. Why are you not in range, though? Does a network tower need to connect to another network tower? Okay, I guess these don't relay info, they just send info, maybe that's why. I thought we could alternate them, but maybe we can't. Yeah, this one is in range. Let's see if the other one is in range or we gotta move it. It is still red, so we're gonna have to move some stuff. But I doubt that we have to move it far. There we go. So now it's in range of the other one. So yeah, you do need multiple network towers like all over the planet, basically. That does, however, mean that we also have to move our weather station slightly. What the heck is this? Metal resistance crystal. Haven't seen those yet. I guess they do grow around here, because I see another one. There we go. Now that's in range. Yeah, we can see much more of the area. Alright, now that we have the weather station operational, we can start terraforming again. And the average terraformation rating went from 19 to 34. The metal storm altitude has raised a significant bunch as well. If we have the supplies, we could do it again, actually. And yeah, we do have the materials for it. Well, that is if we can make the drones, at least. And I guess we may as well do this right away. Sweet, we can make 5 of these as well. That way we know for sure we should be able to reach the titanium. Never mind, I guess that remains unchanged. That didn't do a whole lot, actually. It even didn't do as much of the average terraformation. Well, as long as it did something, I suppose it's good. Alright, let's make our way back to the titanium. Oh, back as in, back on the search for titanium. The metal storm doesn't seem to be that much higher than where we are. I do see a blue rock, so I imagine that is titanium. That it is. Nice. I don't get why I have to place it up here. Alright, it's time to set up a bit of a base here. Well, I say base, but it's more like we have to set up the cargo line. We might actually need more control towers. Yeah, we're not gonna reach that. We're gonna need to put one down there still. But before we do that, I do kind of want to explore this area. I see some green rock over there. My guess is that that is the neodymium. And then there's also something over here. That also looks like green rock. And then what are these? Radioactive crystal tier 2s. I didn't bring another mining station down, which kind of sucks. Yeah, this is the neodymium. That one does look a bit different, actually. So what is this? Salt. We have that back at base. I'm not gonna go crazy for that here. Neodymium, on the other hand. It would be good to get that back up already. If we have to go back to the base for a control tower, we may as well create another mining station. And I guess some more logistical storage. And more zip lines, because this was actually quite the walk. And if this is where we're gonna have to get these radioactive tier 2s from, then making sure that we can get back here easily is a must. Right, I'm just gonna run back because that was the last charging platform I had. But that's a pretty good find. The neodymium is probably one of the next things we need, so we can get ahead on that. Besides, we need it for some upgrades anyway. Alright, I think I have enough supplies to set up the neodymium mine, as well as get the titanium back to base. Looking at it, we might... Well, I guess we're not gonna make it all the way with these zip lines. That's kind of insane, though. Kinda shows how far out this is. Because I had 6 zip lines. Alright, well, place that one down. This is gonna be a bit tricky, I think, because we're gonna have to figure out the optimal placement is of this. Yeah, that's too far. I think right here. Which should mean we can actually place this logistical storage a lot farther along. Because the less we need, I think the better. Do it like all the way up the hill here. That would be fantastic. It seems like, yeah, that's like perfectly from edge to edge. Alright, this is 10 items a minute, 15 drones. That should be fine, as I don't think we can do more than that anyway, because these mines only do up to 10 until we upgrade them, which I think we can actually do now, right? Because we got the neodymium? I think that was one of the requirements, plus lithium. It has been a while since I last checked that. And then this is going to become the fun part. We're going to have to do the same here. But then also increase all of these other ones to go up. We don't have enough cargo drones on us. So I think we need to max all of these out with like full-on 40 items a minute. Because it's going to have to go to this main storage line, and that already has quite a few items going to it. Oh sweet, we also got a new plant, finally. It took a couple hours. Alright, line 1 is max. And that one is as well. And now the entire drone line should be 40 items a minute. Currently it does seem to be filling up with a ton of coal as well as copper wire. That might become a problem later down the line. Oh, you know what? I might be stupid. I was like, why the heck are these items not being put in there? I connected it to this, and this is a factory. You know, that you know, that does explain a lot. Alright, delete that route. Have it go to here instead. And then have this go to over there. Like, oh my god, man. How can I be so dumb? There we go, the titanium is being filtered in here. That is good. However, we don't need it raw, of course. Let's create a titanium bar input. And let's do the same for the neodymium when it gets here. And I'm going to create 2 of these small logistical storage. There we go, so that should be in a constant flow of receiving and giving items. Now, of course, if you remember, we did all of this so we can get some reinforced plates going. So let's start our work on that. So we need the titanium bars as well as aluminum plates. My base has become such a mess. Like, it's pulling stuff from everywhere. So sweet, the reinforced plates are being crafted. You know what, I'm gonna create another logistical storage. And this is where a lot of like excess items go into that I don't need too often. This way the inventory isn't getting so cluttered the entire time. Update on our plants. This new one that we got, the orange poplar. We have enough of those, so we can shoot those into the sky. Alright, it has taken a little while, but we can now craft the aircraft port, which is why we did all of this. Now, it's kind of pointless to put that right here, but I want to know something. And we use this to fast travel. So let's head over to the titanium and place it over there. I also just remembered that the quest said we need to have 2 of these. One for in the sky base, and then one for down below here. Means I'm getting smarter if I remember these things. Heck yeah. Well, should have probably done this the other way around then. Smarts does not equal wisdom, I suppose. Right, I forgot that this, the ground level here is just kind of messy. So everything is floating for some reason. Can we get to this? Yes, nice. Alright, well the quest did update, but I do want to make the other one. Remove metals from the atmosphere is up next. Ensure temperatures are fully stabilized. EA, the terraformation rating is maximized from it. Increase acid levels in order to remove metal from the atmosphere. This will make all altitudes accessible. Alright, then it's giving us some tips, like upgrading our miners, which is something I wanted to do next time. And then build lighting towers for additional rocket power cell production. I'm not sure what that means by that. But let's check that out. Like, at least read about it. Well, we have to wait anyway on some of the supplies in order to craft that other sky platform, or the rocket platform. I've already forgot what it was. The one we just placed down. Right, lightning tower, where are you at? I did see it somewhere. Here it is. It does require something we don't have yet. But does it have a description for us? Harnesses the power of storms to produce rocket power cells. Most effective in areas with intense weather. So I guess this just creates power cells on its own. Well, that's good unless we need a ton of them later. I don't really see the point right now, because we have 1 or 2 of these going. And it's enough, although this nuclear power plants is what uses them as well. But I mean, our geothermal... Why the heck is this? Okay, this just does a larger area than nuclear power plant. And it has more HP than the geothermal. Also uses these structural components or composites. What does that even cost? Sulfur is something it costs that we don't have. We actually almost have every single item that we can get our grubby little hands on. I think it's just sulfur and this Neodium. Is that correct? Oh no, we miss cobalt. We miss diamond. Sulfur and then the Neodium. Xenium? Xenium? I think it's Xenium. That actually ain't too bad. Alright, let's go to the sky base and see what we need to increase acid levels. And I suppose while we're up there, I can also plant trees on this planet. So let's do that first. Those are all the exotic plants. So we just need these 2, the alpine and Deciduous? Deciduous? We haven't gotten a single one of those yet. The tropicals mutated into the exotic. So I'm gonna guess that that works similarly. But who knows? I don't exactly know how that works, so... Alright, let's see. We have to increase the pH. So what do we need for that? We have all the basic requirements. We do just need more drones. We need powdered xenium, so that is something we're gonna have to get. These gas dispersion drones, easy enough to craft. And then the tier 3 packages. Okay, wow, so it immediately wants us to go to tier 3. No tier 2s required. I guess the tier 2 is the decrease pH. Actually, hold up a second. Okay, we need this one. We need to decrease the pH. I thought adding more acidity increased pH. Well, whatever. In that case, we need to set up more weather stations. We do need the tier 2, and we need acid. We'll have to figure out how to cut acid. And these are just gotten from this one over here. We need the tier 2 rockets now. So we have to craft a bunch of those. Now let's see. Stabilize. So it's predicted to terraform 38%. So I think if we just do this once more, then that should be fine, right? And we do have enough of those materials. Let's see if we can craft 5 of these. Also, what does this cost? Radioactive tier 2. Yeah, okay. So those aren't too bad. So these rockets aren't too bad either. And then I also quickly want to see what it costs to get acid. That in here? Yes. Sulfur and salt. Now I need a ton of these, so I may as well start creating a bunch. Same with the tier 2 rockets. Because they're going to take a while to come back, may as well shoot them into the sky now. And it's going to take 8 minutes for those. Alright, let's stabilize the temperature once again. So there we go, it's now 38%. This metal storm hasn't increased. I think that's fine. So that should be maxed out now, right? Yeah. Predicted terraformation rating 0%. So I think that is maxed then. Alright, good. So basically what we need to do now is we need to increase acidity. So we just need to get more weather stations. Yeah, it seems to be fine. Something else in order to increase terraformation is we need to lower the global temperature. We would need this stuff, basically, the tier 3 and then the xenosulfide. But realistically, I don't think we're super far off to terraforming this planet. Like, besides the plants, which don't want to play with us for some reason. Mutations can be found in the wild. I have not found a single one in the wild yet. But that might be where we get some of the other ones from, so I might have to look into that. Alright, before I forget, let's make another one of these aircraft ports. And see if the fast travel is a possibility. So, like, how the heck does this work? Over here? Okay, well, we need to craft ourselves some planes. Oh, we can craft a repair helicopter. That ain't too bad. So we need to get the jets in order to travel to and from the base. Then we can have a repair helicopter. And that will repair damaged buildings. That is going to cost us the high-tech alloy, which we don't have. That's not something I'm going to be working on at the moment, but let's see how expensive that is going to be. Besides the cobalt, it looks like we have everything for that, so that's actually not too bad. Alright, the end of the episode. Well, let's upgrade our mining. I was going to do this one as well, the movement. But we don't have enough supercharged gems for that. So that's kind of unfortunate. We also need a lot more charged gems. So I guess I'll have to do some grinding for those off camera. I think we're nearing the end of our journey here. There are still some things we can do. Huh. Highly mutated plant species detected nearby. Well, I was going to end the episode, but I guess we may as well look for that thing. Like, how far is nearby, game? Can you tell me that? I was going to say we have these things still. But it says, warning, highly radioactive and unstable. So I wasn't going to mess with those. Well, not yet, anyway. I did find the new one. A baby pine. It was kind of hidden next to the big trees, I guess. But that's good, because that means I can plant this. Get rid of some of the old exotic ones. And we can start on the alpine line of trees. So with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, everyone.